All right, what's going on YouTube? This is BoxingWave. Real quick video on Frank Galarza fighting Carlos Adames tonight. All right, this is going to be on the Amir Khan, Terrence Crawford card, pay-per-view, top rank. I believe that this fight will probably be shown on the pre-fights on Top Rank, either the Top Rank app or the ESPN Plus app. I don't believe that this is going to be on the actual pay-per-view. Correct me if I'm wrong. But normally, when they show the pay-per-view, it will be the 3 fights leading up to the main event. I know that the Felix Verdejo fight is going to be shown on the pay-per-view. Shakur Stevenson and also the Teofimo Lopez fight. All right, so I know for a fact that those fights are going to be shown only on a pay-per-view. This fight might be on the pre-fights before the actual pay-per-view. I mean, that's normally how they do it. I could be wrong, but I'm only putting this out there because one of my subscribers, shout out to you, reminded me in my Amir Khan prediction that this Carlos Adames was fighting. All right, so I knew Frank was fighting tonight. I just didn't know it was Carlos Adames. I like Frank. He's a good dude. I want him to win because I like him. I've been following him for a long time. He's from Brooklyn. So shout out to him. Very, very cool dude. I'm pulling for him to win that fight. But it's going to be a tough one. This is a very important fight for the both of them. I know Frank is training hard. He has Andre Rozier in his corner. I know he said he's been sparring with Peter Quillen and really getting prepared for this fight. He has 2 losses in the past. He lost to Jarrett Hurd. That was his first loss. That was the introduction to Jarrett Hurd to me. I've never seen Jarrett Hurd fight before that fight. Was watching it to look for, to see what Frank was going to do. And Jarrett Hurd stopped him in that fight, okay? And then right after that, Frank came back and fought Ishii Smith right away. And I don't think that was a good idea to have that as his first fight. Only because it showed in the fight, I think that was a fight that Frank could have definitely won. I think he was a little nervous on pulling the trigger early, and Ishii took advantage of it early. And then, not even halfway through the fight, Frank started to turn the fight around. But because he got dropped, he got outpointed, and the majority of the decision went to Ishii Smith in that fight. All right, in a fight that I feel like Frank could have definitely won, but the first 3-4 rounds or so, he just didn't look comfortable in there, And you have to be, I think with him, I seen him bring the pressure to Jarrett Hurd, and this is a fight where we all know that Jarrett Hurd is like this big pressure fighter that gets punched in the face a lot. But in that fight against Frank Galarza, he was fighting more so on his back foot, countering Jarrett Hurd, fighting that Philly shell defense and countering Frank Galarza, because Frank was just coming in. I think he had too much faith in his power. He was coming in very reckless and getting caught with shots, and then got dropped. All right, but Frank, this is a good stepping stone for Carlos Adames. Carlos is undefeated, Dominican fighter, prospect, contender now. He is a very, very good fighter. I mean, he looks very promising. The only problem is he hasn't fought anyone that good, and this is the point. This is his first real step up for him. So we're going to wait and see how good he really is. Is it hype? Is he really the goods? This is the fight that we're going to finally see how good Carlos Adames is. He looks very promising. He looks very talented. He has a deep amateur background. I mean, the dude got skills. He's a big dude at 154, has a lot of power, a lot of hand speed, great counter-punching ability. I mean, from the eye test, he looks like he's better than Frank Galarza. It's just that he's never been in the ring with someone on this level so far. Frank Galarza, the first fight that I seen of him is when he knocked out John Thompson in the second round on ESPN years ago, okay? I remember watching that fight. John Thompson, who looked like to be the more polished boxer, got caught with a shot and went down, and Career hasn't been really great since then. All right, he's lost to other fighters since then. Frank Galarza is a guy that can catch you if you're not careful. He can catch you, and being that there's a lot of unknowns with Carlos, don't know if he can take a shot well. This will be a test for him. If he is to beat Frank and look impressive doing it, then we can start having a discussion. Okay, how does he look against some of the top guys at 154, the champions at 154? And for Frank, this is his way to get him back into that, top contender discussion. But this would be a big win for both. Definitely a fight that both fighters really need, just for different reasons. Frank, in order to see if he really belongs, if he still belongs on a guy that can possibly get a title shot couple fights down the line, or is Carlos Adames the real goods? Is he really the real goods? So there's a lot of unknown here. There's a lot unknown here. I don't really know who's gonna win the fight. I like I said, I'm rooting for Frank Galarza to win. But as far as the eye test, it looks like Carlos Adames is the better fighter. He looks like the better talent right now, based on what I'm seeing. But I won't be surprised if there's an upset. So I think Carlos, to be fair, I think Carlos should win the fight, based on how he looks. But you can't sleep on Frank Galarza at the same time. You just can't sleep on him. But I think Carlos is probably going to pull off the win. We'll see. So I'll be back with the post-fight review. I'll probably do one tomorrow after all the fights. There's a lot of fights cards. You have the Dave Allen card early on the zone. You have Danny Garcia fighting, and then you have the Mir Khan, Terrence Crawford fight as well. So there's a lot of boxing today. But I'll see you guys tomorrow, and we'll discuss everything that happens today. All right, peace.